Hi everyone. So this is my next podcast. So today's podcast is going to be about stress. Now, what is stress? Is it that feeling that overcomes you and causes you to be anxious, causes you to be frustrated, angry, worried? Or is it that feeling that actually motivates you to do better and pushes you to accomplish your goals? Stress is a feeling of emotional or physical tension. In many cases, when stress makes one feel frustrated, angry, or nervous. Stress is your body's reaction to challenge and demand. And as I said, stress can actually be a good thing. We all need a little bit of stress inside of us to push us to work harder and accomplish our goals and be successful in life. If we didn't have anything that was pushing us, we wouldn't actually accomplish anything. For some, a little, and people who aren't the best at coping with stress can fall when they have too much to do. Responsibilities and priorities taking up your entire life, and honestly, when they don't feel capable of, and that's when people don't feel capable of accomplishing anything. It's when stress gets to their head. I'm especially someone who's not great at coping with stress. Normally, when I'm stressed out, I fall under pressure and I'm always worried about the outcome of everything. I think to myself, I'm not capable of accomplishing whatever I need to get done. This is all too much. I don't want to do any of it. And I'm just very unable to do anything. So it engulfs me a lot of the time, and I just a lot of the time feel like I won't do a good job on anything that even if I put my mind to it. Even though it doesn't feel like stress can help us, it can boost brain power. It can make you stronger in a way as it helps in the future, as this is a battle that you are going to be fighting, and there are going to be obstacles that come with stress. So by fighting it, you're actually preparing yourself and you're making yourself stronger. Now, to cope with stress, it's important to talk. There's some ways to cope with it. And one of the ways is definitely talking it out. Talking it out always helps. I know when I'm stressed, I can always go to my mom and she'll always offer me some advice on how to get my goal accomplished or things I can do to ease myself. And she always just reassures me that I will be able to get done whatever I put my mind to. I can also, another thing that is really important when you're stressed with either your priorities, like possibly school life, your job, it's important to take time out for yourself for the day and also just taking a break. Leaving your priority for just a little bit can even help get rid of that stress. By taking time for yourself and really ensuring that you have had a break and made sure that you have just put away everything that's stressing you out, put it out the window, and just take a little bit of time to recover and recuperate. Some of the negatives to stress, because I know there are a lot more negatives to stress out there. Stress can really engulf your body. It can cause a person to not get anything done, and their mind just fully stops. Like they can't function anymore because of all of that stress that's engulfing them. Actually, about 33% of people have reported feeling extreme stress. 77% of people say that their experiences with stress affect their physical health. 73% actually people say that stress affects their mental health, and 48% of people have trouble sleeping because of stress. For me, stress overcomes me in a way where, as I've mentioned, I don't feel capable, but stress can affect someone in many different ways. So for me, I get stressed with my grades and my homework. But for someone else, it can be totally different. So it's important to know that what one person is stressed about may not stress out another person. Stress can also overwhelm someone and cause them to ruminate on their priorities they're unable to accomplish. And lastly, stress causes anxiety and constant worry about future outcomes. So now that I've talked a little bit about myself and also some of some of the statistics of stress, I'm going to invite my interviewee in. Hello. So what's your name?
My name is Ksenia. Yeah. So
Lighting just got really bad for a second.
Oh, okay.
Let's turn.
So hi, I'm Ksenia Bots. Yeah. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, of course. So I'm going to be asking you a list of questions, and then you can answer them, and you can be honest with me. Like, obviously, and so my first question, obviously, are you someone who gets stressed out a lot? If so, about what? Sorry.
Okay. To be honest, yes, I do get stressed out a lot. Usually about some of the more stupid things in life. I usually get stressed out about mainly other people's expectations, and I think that's something that's really common in a lot of people, just being stressed about what people think about you. Because when we're alone with ourselves, we can really tune into what we want to be. But when you're with other people, you have to consider societal expectations. You have to consider how will your words, your demeanor, your actions affect others. You have to consider all these different things. And that, for me, that just adds a lot more stress.
So like stress about like what people think of you.
And as well as just I mean, there's always school, there's always life, there's always everything like that, but really just what people think about me.
So how does that stress make you feel?
If you've ever screamed silently, that's what it makes you feel like. It literally, that's the feeling of stress. It's the feeling of when you're basically screaming your head off, but nobody can.
That's like when you're at the tipping point of life.
Yeah, when you're at the tipping point of life, but you're not about to fall in love. You're about to just die. Okay, you're about to come off the cliff. That's the life. That's like what for me stresses. It's like instead of falling in love, you're falling, but
deeper.
Yeah, deeper. A little bit there.
And do you feel like you're alone with battling stress?
For the most part, yeah. As sad as it sounds, well, stress with school, and especially with all kinds of school, family things that usually people share. Definitely, I think that's something that a lot of people help each other out with. And I know that I've had a lot of great people, like certain people that help me out with it. But like societal expectation, I just feel like that's a stress that we all sort of just keep inside ourselves and you don't really hear about. So no, I don't think that that people really help each other out that way.
What emotions almost go through you? Like,
can I use adjectives instead?
Yeah,
okay. Guttural, primitive, not pretty in any way. Can we also say that it is gray, drab, frightening, coursing through my veins?
Yeah, Ksenia is actually a very good with using words. So if you don't know what any of those words mean, the first few, you can go look those up. But would you say the main gist is like it makes you feel like fearful of what's to come?
It's basically unreasonable fear. It's a phobia.
Yeah.
It's basically like it's like a toned down version of phobia. So basically, instead of being afraid of something so dramatically like xenophobia, you're afraid of everybody that comes to the country. You are basically just generally have like this low key fear that just builds up over time and can like lead to a tipping point.
And where do you say that fear is generated from? Because yes, you have your like you have all your stress, but how does that fear get instilled inside you?
For me, it gets instilled because usually society. As a person who like literally lives in two different worlds, if it's okay.
Yeah, of course. Go ahead. Share anything.
I'm Russian, and half my family is Russian, half my family is like American, and basically for me, stress means like holding up societal expectations for both sides, and literally the stress is instilled by the idea of how people will see you. Because you don't want to slip up. You don't want to be like the weird, awkward person. Damn, sometimes I don't want to be the weird, awkward person in the middle of nowhere, just sort of being like completely out of place. Because to be honest, we all want to fit in. We all want to be accepted. We all want to have friends.
I think you bring up like a really great point in terms of stress. I know I always get stressed out if I see, especially my peers, if they're doing. Oh no, this lighting is not good. Should we like turn? Yeah. Sorry. But anyway, I feel like especially with stress in a way, if you see your peers are doing well in something and you're struggling with it, I think that can cause a lot of stress and anxiety inside of you.
Definitely self-judgment.
Because especially
the main factor.
I'm just gonna use an example. Like Ksenia is a very good writer. Like she's very smart at writing. And I know, like, I've definitely, and other people as well. And I know I've definitely felt stressed out if I'm finding something tough in like life and any assignment, and other people are finding it easy because it's hard to see that other people are succeeding and you're facing a struggle.
Oh, definitely. Just like sharing, when you compare yourself to other people, you automatically put that layer of stress. Unless you're beating everybody. But like to be honest, how many times
you're always gonna have someone better than
you're always gonna have somebody better than you. And honestly, the main idea with stress is to, like, the best way to get rid of it, in my opinion at least, is take a breath. It's hard. It's difficult. I myself usually scream into my pillow, but yeah, just like take a breath and realize that even though you may judge yourself, it's not always what other people see. And in general, what like at least I learned from public, people are a lot more accepting than you think they are. People are a lot more open to new ideas, open to new
especially because like Ksenia, we all view her we all view her as someone who is incredibly smart, and seeing her open up, she's always very stressed inside herself. Like, is she doing what other people think she should be doing, like societal expectations? So even if someone is this like very incredibly smart like you are in various classes, they always are gonna have that battle with themselves as well. And like I'm sure we view you in a certain way, but you don't view yourself like that.
No.
You don't. No. And is that due to stress?
Yeah, mainly stress and also self-judgment. Yeah. Can I give an example?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Let's go deep. Let's go family. So I have, as I said, half my family is American, half my family is Russian. And as you could understand, after if two countries could hold a grudge for over 100 years, yes, you can guess that cultures are pretty different. So with I'm getting to a point with this.
Yeah,
no. With my Russian side, you behave a different way with different people. And what I have on my American side, I have my father's sister, my aunt, and she is very, very, very we might call stereotypical American. She is sort of xenophobic. She doesn't really like other people's influence. She doesn't really like foreign cultures. And she once kicked me out of her house when I slipped up and started speaking Russian to my mom. She basically went berserk and was like, "You will not speak about my daughters in Russian." But FYI, I was not speaking about her daughters. I was asking my mom if I could have some more beef casserole. It was Thanksgiving, but it was like for me that was a big moment where I first started realizing that
stress inside you building up. I have to act a certain way.
You have to act, but you also have to like put on different masks. You put that whole couture on for different people.
Yeah, it's like you have this mask for these people, this mask.
Okay.
So one of my other questions is, well, actually, you kind of already said it just now. Like, can you tell us about a time you were very stressed?
Oh yeah, but that's just what the way I dealt with this. Well, originally I went to my house and I screamed in my pillow, but don't do that. Okay,
don't do that, guys.
Don't do that. You'll rip your pillow apart, and that's not good because then you'll have to get a new one. But anyway, so
not the point.
But the main point is, just talk to people that receive you positively. Yes, there's always going to be a person out there that, yes, and my great aunt, she lost me. It's not that she hates me or anything. It's just some people, they perceive different things, different cultures differently, and especially just because Russia's a little bit picky at the point, and just because like the idea of communism at all has not fully been accepted by the United States, a person who considers himself like a semi-socialist, a person that considers himself as national, like considers himself as a Russian American, it's really something you just have to understand that not everybody looks at you the way some people do. You can't stereotype everybody under that one person that freaks out because you're asking for bean casserole. Mm-hmm. And you have to understand that, yes, you look at yourself in a negative way if you stress yourself out because of other people. Okay. Sorry, that quick interruption. Ad break. Anyway, you just have to realize that it's not not everybody's so bad, and that you can always find love and comfort in other people.
Yeah. And so how do you cope with your stress? Is there anything you do that helps ease your stress and that you could give advice to others?
As a professional procrastinator, I could do it as a sport. I usually this may sound stupid, but the way I cope with stress is take breaks.
That's not stupid. Everyone has a different way of coping. Like I talk to my mom, or I also take breaks, or I sometimes stress cry.
Cry. You know what?
Crying actually can help.
I think everybody's gone through stress crying, screaming in the pillow. Okay, maybe not so to the extreme, but everybody's gone through it.
It helps you feel better.
Yeah, definitely. But the best way to deal with stress, in my opinion, is to just step out of the situation. When you're in the situation, you're like in the groove. You're in the mood. You're mad. You're steamy. You're like you're ready to like bite somebody's head off.
Yeah.
And if you just take a break at a moment, just like step back, and
leave it alone.
Grab a cup of tea. Grab a frappuccino. Here, whatever you drink. Just take a break. Grab a hot drink. Read a book for maybe 15, 20 minutes. Watch a YouTube clip, something funny maybe.
Make yourself laugh. Bring back
First of all, take a break. Take your mind out of it, and then don't ignore the situation. The best way to ignore the situation is to procrastinate, which like I'm super at. But the best way.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
The best way to fix it is to.
But don't overwhelm yourself.
It's to during that break, take a break, take yourself out of it, get to a good state of mind, and then think of a way to solve it. Because there's always a better way to solve it. There's always a better way to, if somebody's pressuring you or you're stressed about that, talk to them. If homework's stressing you out, figure out a way to study for it. There's always a better way, and you just need to figure it out. And of course, it's gonna be hard, but believe me, nothing is harder than talking to your yelling aunt on Christmas Eve about being casserole while crying. That won't help you. You need to take a break and step back.
It's also proven that you will get more accomplished and you'll put your mind to it even more if you're happier. So if you're trying to take on something like with stress building inside you, you're trying to just get it done, you're not going to do your best job. It's not like you're just doing it to get it done. You need to like have that good mindset and like be like, you need to be at one with yourself.
Yeah.
And
do some yoga if you want to.
Yeah, you could. And that would honestly help. And so would you give any other advice to people?
Honestly, just find your niche. Find a safe place, find a calm zone. Like for me, I love Trevor Noah's Daily Show, just me. But like just find something that's quick. Maybe binge watching Netflix for 3 hours won't help you. It will help you take your mind off, but you're gonna procrastinate anyway. Just find something quick. Find something that's like a stress relief valve. And once you find that niche, it will work out for you.
So, what do you think stress does to anyone's health and body?
I think it can really take a large toll on sleep, especially. And I did do an episode about
one about sleep. No,
I did. But stress, it keeps you awake at night. It basically just deteriorates your body. There's plenty of scientific evidence. Search it up online if you want to. But the basic idea is that stress will make you feel internally worse. Even though your body's okay, your muscles aren't turning to acid or something, you're still going to be alive, but it will make you feel worse, and hence
your mental state.
It will make you act worse.
It'll definitely affect your mental state.
It affects the way you behave. It affects the way you act with people.
Definitely.
You're suspicious of people. There's
I know
lists.
I'm upset with someone. If I'm really stressed about something, I definitely act angrier to everyone, and I act differently, I guess. And why do you think people get stressed? Why do you think? Like, why does stress exist?
Because stress exists because people want to be perfect. Okay, not going into philosophy here.
People put expectations on themselves.
Stress is basically your expectations on yourself. Okay, to be honest, people aren't going to put enough expectations on you. So, honey, just let it go for the moment. But
like if I want to get an A+ on my test, I'm constantly worrying that stress, like I have to study, or I'm not going to get an A+. And then that's what's going to stress you out. And that's like, you can't place an expectation on yourself. You have to say, I'm going to do my best. and that's enough. Like my best is enough.
You need to definitely mention the idea that that there's a big difference between pressure and stress. I guess like pressure, it encourages you to go for it. It's sort of like that golden star, the
but not
rainbow.
too much of it.
But stress is already when you're getting past that tipping point. It's like where you're going to kill yourself if you don't get to that point. Well, not literally. I'm talking about different.
But
it's
stress
like when
is
you're
almost
punishing yourself for not getting where you want.
Stress is like almost a lot of pressure. So a little bit of pressure is good, but then a lot of pressure leads to stress, like, and all of the effects that we've talked about.
Yeah.
What effects do stress have, like positively? Let's talk about positive.
Positive? Okay, let's do it this way.
Yes.
Positive.
Let's talk about positive.
Stress is definitely, it's sort of like a fire under a runner's butt. If you think about this, I'm not trying to, it's a metaphor. It's a metaphor.
Oh, Ksenia.
Okay, I'm just going to remind you guys, Russian is my first language, so I'm still figuring out idioms. But yeah, it's like you're trying to speed it definitely speeds you up. It gives you that incentive to reach a goal, but I would more think of that as pressure than stress. The words are very foggy here. This is why English is so confusing. But if you want to look stress, it's definitely an incentive. And don't lose your stress. Keep it there. Keep it in a nice little corner, like in your shoulder or your eyeball or somewhere. But don't lose it.
Because you don't want to get to the point where you're not trying.
You want to be able to try. You want to be able to succeed. You want to have that drive in you. But you don't want to have that drive eat you up inside, because that's what it starts getting bad.
I think especially in the United States, because if we look at the happiest countries in the world, like Finland, Scandinavia, they're all very happy countries. And if you meet,
relax.
Yeah, if you meet these people, they know the border between like a little bit of pressure / stress and like too much that deteriorates you. In the United States, I feel like as a community, we all put so much pressure on each other and stress on each other to do well, because the United States is such a successful country that if you're not being successful in maybe job, your school, you're like, I'm different. I'm not capable. Like,
oh, even better. It's sort of, if you just look at the way the U.S. is founded, it's founded on the idea you work hard, you earn hard.
Yeah.
You work hard, you play hard. That's it.
You work hard, you play hard.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Reminder. Anyway, so the idea of the U.S. is that it's a good way to progress. Stress creates progress. That's one of the good things, because stress creates incentive, which creates progress, which creates desirable results, which does the cycle all over again. But in the majority of countries, people have taught themselves to be happy with what they have. And
stress takes away from your happiness.
As a society, we have taught ourselves to always want more. And I think that's like one of the big problems with stress, because you have to sometimes take a break, look back, think, oh my God, I'm amazing. Look at all you've done.
Look in the mirror. I'm amazing.
Yeah, you've got to look at what you've done, not what you could have done. You just stop looking and regretting the past. It's gonna create even more stress. Believe me, I have enough. I don't want any more. And think about how you can improve the future. Use stress as your incentive. Use stress as that lighter, and under.
Yeah, remember that. Whenever you're stressed, think of Ksenia's words about like it's incentive. It's fire.
It's fire. I think of it as fire, burning rope that you're running away from. But
what are all of these analogies?
I'm trying to figure my life out, okay? But you just think of it as a way to keep on moving. But as a society, remember, you are amazing. You are able to succeed. And yes, you aren't perfect. And if anybody tells you you're perfect, sorry, they're lying. Yeah. But you don't need to be amazing to be perfect. You don't need to be perfect to be amazing. That's wrong. You don't need to be amazing. You don't need to be perfect to be amazing. And just first figure out how to love yourself, then take a break, then figure out how to love the world.
I think it's that's such a great point, because I think in our world, we are always like, I can't take a break because I need to be working hard. That causes so much more stress, because if you don't take a break at all, your stress is going to build up, anxiety. You're going to gain like so much anxiety, frustration, anger when you can't get something done. Like, yes, you need to get it done, but you also just need to calm.
Yeah, and be stress. If you keep on regretting what you didn't do, or if you keep on regretting, like, oh my God, why did I wear that shirt yesterday? Oh my gosh, what did they think about me? if you keep on regretting all these decisions, that's just gonna keep on building that stress. That's just gonna hurt you more. And as a society, we need to sort of be like, we've done this already. Let's move on. Let's work on your future. Don't work on your past.
So I guess what we're trying to say through this podcast is that even though there are many negatives to stress, you can always overcome it. You have to remember stress does not define who you are. Like all of the superficial things in your life, even if your priorities may be important, it's not worth stressing over it. It's for the littlest of things. It's not worth stressing over. And I really want it through this podcast for everyone to be empowered that you don't need to stress about every single thing, because in the end it's not going to matter, and even if it matters to you today, it may not matter in the long run. So please for Ksenia and I, and because Ksenia is someone who gets stressed and she's working on it.
Love yourself.
Yeah.
Don't stress yourself about yourself. Don't stress yourself about other people. You are loved. You are amazing. You're not perfect, but you're amazing anyway. And you can always improve yourself. But understand, stress is not the way to go.
And there are always people who are going to be there for you if you need to talk about stress. And that's all we have for this week's podcast. Yeah. Thank you, Ksenia.
Thank you for inviting me.
Okay,
spasiba.
Okay. Bye.
Okay.